We are just a stone's throw from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it is rocking and rolling here at Huntington Bank Field in downtown Cleveland. Today we've got a Week 5 matchup in store here, as it'll be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Cleveland Browns.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line.
And he's going to be out of bounds on the return. Not a great return. They'll start back around the 17.
They're on the 17-yard line.
Throwing to start the drive. Bush. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
And that might have been a situation where even though you don't hit on the deep throw, you at least put in the defenders' minds early in the game that we're going to press the ball deep against your secondary. And that can have a ripple effect on how they function throughout.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Back to throw. Bush. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air.
He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield. And he is going to have the Buccaneers first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1.
Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Campbell making the catch. So the completion good for 6 yards. And it's 2nd down. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive.
Here now, 2nd and 4.
Now a first carry here from the running back. They give him about 4 on the play, but he's marked short, so it'll be 3rd and about the length of the football.
We look at this Browns defense.
They come into this one rounding out the top 10 in the 10 spot against the run.
I jotted down in my notes in prepping for this game that this is definitely an area we got to keep an eye on, because you're talking about where they rank in stopping the run, but how about what they're facing? This unit loves to run the football, and they rank highly in the league in getting it done.
Yeah, power against power. Something's got to give. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose.
Offensively lucky there, able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Taken in at the 11.
So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards.
And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Looking to put a drive together.
Ready? Bronco 80.
On the ground, this is Quinshon Judkins.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Now Fulton.
And this is dropped. Oh, boy. A chance for a big play early, but he could not secure it.
That is not what you expect from a receiver of his caliber. Sometimes you get a little ahead of yourself. You don't look it in, and all of a sudden it's on the ground. A surprise to all.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Fulton to throw. And he'll be touchdown here, but not before he does pick up the first. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a gain of 17. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
1st and 10 at the 37.
A give. Here's Judkins.
And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
The Browns had 2-2 through the first 4 weeks of the season. And they come in losers of 2 straight, so trying to turn things around here.
And you just mentioned 2 straight, and when you're talking about 2 games, that's nothing to panic about. They feel like they've been a little bit unlucky in the last couple. This is a club that's more than capable of turning things around. I expect them to play really well here.
And some good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive.
1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Ready?
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
At the 45-yard line.
You look at this defense for Tampa Bay.
And this unit, very tough to throw against, currently 2nd best in the NFL.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. The top 10.
Oh, he sheds himself free. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation we were talking about where one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly, it's a big man's game. And it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football.
Quinshon Judkins.
That one's a milestone. Touchdown number 150 for his great career.
And the Browns get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon.
This is a crew, they've come out flat their last 2 games, both losses, but just judging by the energy level, they look different here early, and that touchdown shows how.
Yeah, it seems to me that touchdown gets them off the treadmill. Because, you know, you've been on the treadmill. I've seen you work out. You go forever and ever, and it tells you you've gone somewhere, but you really have. You're in the same spot. They've exchanged it for an escalator. Still got some hills to climb, but they can get there.
These are good analogies. I run outside sometimes, though. Get some fresh air, a little sun on your face.
A little wind in there.
Yeah, that's right. The PAT up and good, but hold on a second. There is a flag.
And they'll accept that penalty.
After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield.
And this one definitely not in the landing zone. In fact, it's over the back line of the end zone. So this ball will come out to the 30 now.
The Buccaneers in good field position here to start out 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. And trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
2nd and 10.
Looking to throw. Bush. Now a run here off the arc. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Browns. He tried to buy some time to the right. So, Charles, when a guy gets out of the pocket, what's the focus of the quarterback?
Most of them keep their eyes downfield. They want to try and make a play throwing the ball. Some of them, they want to tuck it and go. But when they scramble, in this case, as you said, to the right, you're cutting the field in half. So good defenses kind of converge in that spot, and they don't give you much territory to throw the ball. He had nowhere to go with it. Ends up getting the ball stripped.
Good work after the catch. Gets him 15 and a 1st down.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Let's go now. Viking 18.
Fulton sets to pass it. And he's got his man on the out route. A gain of 8 there on the play. And it'll be 2nd and a couple.
I think as he began this throw, you saw that the area was congested, but he has a lot of confidence in his arm, and he fits that one in there nicely. They pick up the catch. Not much yardage afterwards.
60 Eagles, 60 Eagles.
An inside run with Jenkins.
And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Here we go, here we go. Panther 60, Panther 60. 18 Cardinal, 70 Ranger, 70 Ranger. Go.
From the gun on 3rd down. Fulton. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year.
And the Browns are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead.
Well, it was 3rd and 1. I was expecting runs so much for that. They pass it, they score it.
That had the feel of the head coach telling the offensive coordinator, you've got 4 downs here. We're going to go for it on 4th down unless there's a disaster on 3rd. Go ahead and take a shot if you want to. And he gratefully accepted the opportunity and did exactly that. If they didn't get it there, that had the feel that they would come back and try it on 4th down.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
This fielded right at the goal line.
And bulldozing his way through.
And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. Let's see if they can do better here on this drive.
And I think we're all starting to wonder with this early deficit, what will that do to their play calling? Do they feel like they have to be more aggressive because they're throwing to start the drive here, but it winds up incomplete?
Now a 2nd and 10. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's 3rd down. $14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Second quarter now, and it's Buccaneer football as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely got to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
He gets this away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And this punt goes out of bounds, and it'll be marked inside the 40.
Their own 39-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. So for this offense, Charles, remember drive 1 made it to the end zone. Drive 2 resulted in a touchdown as well. Now they'll try to make it 3 for 3.
Yeah, and you know, they told us all week that this was the plan and this is what they wanted to execute, but did they really believe it would happen this well, this efficiently? I know they'll take it, and afterwards they'll say, there's never a doubt in our minds we were going to be successful in this one.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
Buffalo 18. Trap 60. Trap 60. Ready?
From the 41, Fulton. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. 2 yards on the pickup there. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
3rd down and 6.
19 Lions. Let's go now. 60. Mustang 19.
Operating from the gun. Fulton. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. It's a gain of 26 as they pick up the 1st down in the process.
1st and 10
19
at the
tight.
31-yard line.
Ready? 70 Timberwolves. Panther 11. Panther 11. Ready?
Back to throw. Fulton. Going to throw right side here. Complete. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Back-to-back nice plays. 12 yards that time and a 1st down. Oh, design run for their wideout. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3.
Come on. Set. Let go.
On the handoff, this is Jenkins. And they'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Quinshon Judkins with his 9th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Browns have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Extra point splits the uprights. And it's now 21-0.
21. Buccaneers, nothing.
The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away.
And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know you're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
2nd and 9 now. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Rookie to rookie on the hook up there, and it's a first down. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try to put some points on the board.
And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled them up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
Here's 2nd and 3.
Off the bootleg. Bush.
Going across the field, he finds Phillips.
And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 41-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Good yardage there on 1st down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making first downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your 2nd down play.
From the 33, here's 2nd down and 2.
Let's go now.
Looking to throw. Bush.
And that one almost intercepted. It's incomplete. He had space in front of him if he had held on, but instead it's 3rd down.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield. They had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage.
No gain on the play. It's 4th down.
On 4th down, Bush.
He'll try to do it himself.
He's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. 23 yards on the tuck and run. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
So after the big play on 4th, here's 1st and 10.
Let's go.
From the gun, he'll hand this off.
He finds some way to turn this into positive yardage as he struggles forward for a pickup of about 2.
What a luxury to have a guy like this who can not only spell your starter, but can come in and keep drives going.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. His throw incomplete.
They're putting together a drive here in the final minutes of the half, but the coverage has been tight all game long, and they certainly want to keep them off the scoreboard here.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Back to throw. Bush. And this is going to be intercepted.
Keely Ringo picks it off. And the Browns are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. And the defense, Charles... bent a little bit, but they did not break. And then on 3rd and goal there, the huge interception.
Think of the momentum they're carrying with them right now, Brandon, because in their mind, whether they want to admit it or not, they were conceding 3 points. Their goal was to keep them at the end zone, not give up a touchdown. Instead, they give up nothing. What a big-time play and a big-time stop by them.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3. Now 2nd and 7 from the 23.
At the 23-yard line.
Go! Hawk 70, Hawk 70.
Off play action. Fulton. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up 3rd down. So 7 yards from the 1st down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And that's incomplete.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And call that an even 50 yards on the punt with 7 on the return. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive. And they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Taken down. This will be a Browns sack. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1.
So a tough situation to overcome here. 3rd and 17.
And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. Into a double team, and it's intercepted.
Picked up by Martin Emerson. And the Browns are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield.
A tone setter on defense. They pick off the first pass. I had to look down, but yeah, no interceptions last week, so they made up for lost time.
Boy, did they ever. And when you pick off the first pass of the game, you talk about a tone setter. Now your whole entire defense is thinking, okay, when do we get our next one? Can't wait to get back out on the field and get after them.
Panther 60, Panther 60.
Throwing to start the drive. Fulton.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
It's 2nd down.
Well, no one likes to see that drop, but I'll guarantee it's not going to stop his quarterback from going back to him anytime he has open space.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Let's go now. Hey, Smith. 60 Bison. 60 Bison. Let's go.
Looking to throw. Fulton.
Now he'll tuck this and run.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Stephanie. Cowboy 80. Ready.
Operating from the gun. Fulton. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
And that's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties, and he's able to knock that one away.
Ready.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10.
Bronco 80.
Back to throw. Fulton.
On the RPO, he'll keep it himself.
And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's 3rd.
One thing you always worry about when he breaks the pocket is he going to take off with it? That time, the pressure was starting to close in, and he's just got to throw this one away.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10.
Trap 60. Trap 60. 79 Broncos. Ready, right?
Looking to throw. Fulton.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucs' 24-yard line.
1st and 10 at the 24-yard line.
Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half on as the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. From the right hash, it's a 41-yard attempt. And this one is right through. And that will do it for this first half. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Browns are going to get the second half kickoff, and they've got this lead as well as we are back and underway.
And he won't quite make it to the 25.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The Cleveland offense ready to go.
Trap alert. Go. Hawk 70. Hawk 70.
On the ground, it's Judkins to start the drive.
Takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain.
Well, partner, I don't think it's any secret that any running back wants to be able to see a hole open so that he can gallop through it. But in this case, he had to slow down. There was really no hole there, and he took a big hit in order to get that 1 yard.
It's a short one here, complete to the tight end.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes.
Kalijah Kancey
with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the Buccaneer offense will be set up well as they take over. Now a play fake here on first down. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it's second down.
Caught that look from me there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
On second down, they'll run it here. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Another modest gain there on that one, and I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, and they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner? Because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They'll have to do it by throwing the football and hope to have success through the air.
At the 35-yard line.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on second down and 11. Now back to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. Just a gain of a couple there. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Back to throw here. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
And this one is right down the middle. And they get a little bit closer here as the lead's down to 3 touchdowns. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration, now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started.
These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Here we go. Here we go.
First down, right back to Judkins.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
98 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down.
Come on. Set. Ready, ready.
They'll stay on the ground with Judkins.
And shedding through the tackle. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. Got the defense on their heels. 2 first downs in a row and now a pickup of 8. Now they'll run it on the toss.
Down the left sideline.
And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. A great play there. His first touchdown on the year. As his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. Point after, right down the middle. And that'll increase their lead to 28.
Buccaneers 3.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Oh, what a move.
And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
At their own 21-yard line.
The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
In every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Here we go. Drop ball 80.
He'll drop to throw.
And this one nearly picked off. Kind of surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but get away it does, and it's 2nd down.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. Catch made here by Campbell. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. The catch and run, good for 18 and a 1st down.
And Charles, of interest here, that last throw is going to put him over 20,000 yards passing for his career, and that's not a bad number.
You're exactly right about that, and even though it's nowhere near the top of the leaderboard, because when you think about it, Brady and Breeze, they've done that 4 times over. But when you hit 20,000, let's face it, only a little over 100 guys have ever done that in the NFL. It's worthy of some applause. He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
On play action, they'll throw. And he comes back with one complete. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
And for the Browns, a nickel set here on 3rd down. They'll look to throw again. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down.
Normally on 3rd down and short yardage, you're thinking to throw to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the 1st down and then some.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10.
18 Cardinal.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
At this point in the game and the situation they're in, partner, these incompletions that we're seeing, they need to turn into positive snaps, and soon.
3rd quarter action. Appreciate you joining us from Cleveland, Ohio. 2nd and 10.
60 Bison.
Back to throw again. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
They haven't been able to stop them so far this series, but getting a nice little stand from their defense now.
Yards to go.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. Yeah, boy, he had the marker square in his sights, but a good tackle's going to leave him about a yard or so short. Again, he'll drop to throw.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. From 8 yards out. And the Bucs take a chance, but they find pay dirt on 4th and goal. Brandon Aubrey now for the extra point.
And he puts this one through. It makes our score 31-10.
Score Browns 31. Buccaneers 10.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
At their own 26-yard line.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. Your 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
And we're back now here in Cleveland. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4.
Ready,
Still 9 yards to go on 2nd down from the 27.
ready, ready.
Back to throw.
Fulton. And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
It's now 3rd down.
Well, 4th quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Well, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who's on the field.
And this offense on 3rd down today, they've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 9.
Panther 11, trap 60, trap 60.
Operating from the gun.
Fulton. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Browns 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Let's go now.
On 1st down, here's Jenkins. He'll get it up near midfield to the 49 before being taken down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. A big play there. 50 yards. And the Browns look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here this 4th quarter. Extra point right down the middle. And that'll increase their lead to 28. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away.
And no thought of bringing this one out. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll begin at the 35-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And their 4-game win streak very much in jeopardy as they go to work here late with a 1st and 10.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
Let's go now.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
That's good.
14 yards there and a Buccaneer 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 47-yard line.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. This one complete to his fullback out of the backfield. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Good, sure hands there from a guy not accustomed to catching a whole lot of passes. But how about the way he's able to pull that one in and pick up good yardage?
Here we go. Here we go. Look. 19.
On 2nd down, they'll run it here. And this won't be enough to pick up the 1st. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
And he is going to have a Bucs 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. They held him in check in the 1st half, but that's his longest carry of the game right there.
So would this be the definition of fresh legs since he didn't get much done in the 1st half? Now he has a great opportunity. He's taking full advantage of it.
Open man, that's Campbell.
And down inside the 15 he goes. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well over. They go ahead and mark it in the win column. But as a defense, they don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
Go.
On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. A 13-yard touchdown run.
And the Bucs get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. The extra point up and good by Aubrey.
And that'll cut the lead back down to 21.
17.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 35-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started.
It's been a dominant performance to this point, Charles, and this is probably exactly how they scripted this and envisioned it. They got a 3-score lead, 4th quarter, and a chance if they want to continue to pour it on here.
It is their call, isn't it? I mean, the way that they have taken on this game and the way that they have carried this game and have dominated this game, you're exactly right. Do what you want down the stretch. We are in the era of, hey, If you don't want us to do this to you, then you need to stop us. Their call to finish this one off.
They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
Now, that's a nice play. Got me fired up, partner. But can they do it back-to-back plays? All the training that you go through as a defense for these situations, when you have to get the ball back, everything you go through, holding up the runner, raking at the football, getting to the passer, knocking it out of his hands.
And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
19.
They'll look to throw now on first down. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end.
Perkins pass, complete to number 83. A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3 at the Buccaneers' 48-yard line.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
Second down and 3. A toss to Jenkins, running right.
And this time he's able to take it down to the 42.
113 yards rushing for him now on 17 carries.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to, and it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Well, now they'll try the end around. I don't think anyone in the building fooled right there, as that one is going to blow up in their faces. It's a loss of 8 there on the first down play.
You see that celebration from him after that stop? Those corners don't normally have the chance to get behind the line of scrimmage and hand them big losses. So when he got that opportunity, he certainly made it a memorable one.
Setting up a screen for Jenkins.
And he'll get it down here to the 43. That was play number 7 on this drive, and it got him 7 yards.
With all the success they've had throwing the football as a pass rusher, you know you've got to come hard when you see him drop back to throw. So I really like this call to counteract that pass rush with a screen. It turns into positive yardage. A lot of times the offense says, just replace the rusher with the ball, and it turns into a good play.
So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And we talked so much about the turnover battle, determining who wins, who loses. This game, no exception. Air-free football, no turnovers at all, and they win it.
So this is one you don't have to convince your team that what you're saying is accurate. And you know what I'm talking about. Head coach always stands up in front of the team and says, guys, if we do this, this, and this, we'll win. And usually they say if we win the turnover battle, we'll win. Well, here's the proof right there. Win the turnover battle, go on to victory. Now the guys believe. You move on to the next lesson where you have to convince them. This one is now planted.
So for Cleveland, they move back over 500 at 3-2 now on the year. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Tampa Bay, it was a good first month, but they'll fall to 4-1 as they suffer their first loss. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.